Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/Outbreak. With over 150,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Support this podcast by signing up today. Again, that's audibletrial.com/Outbreak.
60 seconds. Best recorders, high speed. Check all batteries. -50. Armed.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Your go for APU
4,
shutdown on
3,
time.
2, 1. Liftoff.
Go at throttle up.
Sure, go ahead, throttle up.
Still on its way to orbit after a successful ascent up through main engine cutoff.
Houston, 20 seconds to LOS TDRIS.
Roger, nice to be in orbit.
This is Escape Pod, part of the Outbreak Micro-Broadcasting Network, available at OutbreakPodcast.com. This is a, you can say anything you want podcast, so
Okay.
you can cuss, you can say whatever you want.
It's perfect.
All
Because
right.
we've been holding it in.
Yeah, we've been.
We're rated explicit.
Yeah.
I bet if you see me do this,
Yeah.
it's because I'm
she's
like
twitching
starting
she
to like
wants to
lose
say
it.
fuck. Yeah.
For this last panel, I'm like, get it out.
We did.
The first thing that's going to be said on this podcast.
Oh, yeah, most
Well,
definitely.
that's usually
My
one of the
fucking
gags
name
is people say something to each other and I say, "Oh, fuck you, Clementine."
I know people, the audience normally like, "Ah!" They blow up. And,
There's a sound clip that I'm going to cut out where you just say, "I love Troy." Because my name's Troy too.
Yeah, please do.
Like, I
You
love
can send it. You can send it to Troy Baker too.
yeah.
That's
Lots of
funny. That's
Troys.
funny. Don't forget, Troy, you need to lean into the mic whenever you do any talking. So, do you want your questions you want to be heard? You're going to need to lean over to the mic. Okay? Shut up. Okay, here we go. Welcome out to Escape Pod. I'm David Anthony, and Troy Brown will be here in just a second. He's actually stepped out of the room, and then we also have Troy Bishop, the Troy Bishop.
said Troy Brown.
Oh, you know what? Your mic. That's right. Say something, Troy.
Something Troy.
Hey, that's a lot
And I'm
better.
the Troy Bishop, and I've proven that I would not survive in a zombie apocalypse.
I believe you would not.
How have you proven that?
Through various video game experiences. My son steals the controller, and thus he is the survivor.
The liability.
Yes.
Exactly. What's up, buddy?
How's it going?
It's going really good. We are at OMG Con today, and it has been an amazing day, great day, and we have a very special guest with us today on our podcast, and they're like all blushing and everything. Hey, Danielle. Hey, Tony's back. Yay. And Tony Brown is here too. Oh, you're fine. This is what we call a podcast on the fly. We're having fun today. So we have Gavin Hammon.
Hammond.
I apologize.
That's
I'm
all
so
right.
sorry.
That's all right.
You know what? And I did that right before. He's like, it's Hammond.
No
Well, at least
worries.
you didn't say Hammond. That's the more,
I do get Hammond more often.
Yeah.
Melissa Hutchison.
It's Hutchison.
See? At least you got both of us.
But I forgive you because 90% of the world calls my Hutchinson because it's more common than Hutches. Hutch is on is actually Gavin
Hutch
created
is on.
a clever way to
There you go.
get my or the Hutch,
Or you can call it
whatever,
the
Melly
Hutch.
Hutch.
That's it.
Yeah.
So let me be totally unprofessional in a second. And, hey, what's your name?
Gavin Hammond.
And what's your name?
Melissa Hutchison.
Hey, there we go. Boom shakalaka.
That was a good slate.
Thank you. It was a little sexualized, but
Yeah.
Well, you know,
That's
this
for
is
us.
this is an explicit podcast. You can bring tones for later. So we actually got to meet you guys earlier when you were doing a panel here at
Yes.
OMGCon, which was I thought was really well.
Oh,
I mean,
thank you.
I thought you guys did a great job.
Good to hear.
And I've played the games, some of the games that you've played. Troy's played almost every game that you guys have voiced.
Nice.
I've played nothing.
And he doesn't play
Sweet.
games. He doesn't play games at all.
But you like beer.
Okay.
do like it.
But you like good beer.
And that's the thing is that he sat down, and he got a lot out of it because you guys have done a lot of work and a lot of different things, and it's fascinating, the field that you're in, which is the voice acting. So I guess if you don't mind, just a quick little snippet about like how you guys got started for our listeners. Like in the
Sure.
industry?
Well, I have always wanted to be an actress growing up, and I do have a musical theater background. But I think it was my love of cartoons and mimicry that really pushed me into the voiceover industry. So I just would watch cartoons, and as a kid, obviously, like Scooby-Doo was a talking Great Dane. That was not a person doing that. That was a talking Great Dane. But eventually in my life, as I grew older, I think it was with The Simpsons, as you guys probably heard several times today. I put it together that, there was a woman voicing this 10-year-old child. That was awesome. I made that. It was an awesome sound.
That was my text message for my son, and I don't know if you ever seen the TV show Sherlock.
Yes.
With the episode with the girl, the second or third episode with the antagonist, the female that ended up being his love interest. Can't think of her name. Save my life.
I can't either.
And she left that really sexy ringtone on his phone. So
that's right.
So that's what I have on my phone.
You know what that
Tis all
means
good.
since you didn't turn your volume
I have to buy everybody a drink on the podcast. Damn it.
Yes.
That includes us, right?
That includes
We're
you
on
guys.
the podcast.
Exactly.
Anybody in the room?
Anna's in the room.
Round is on date.
Everybody down. Hey, everybody.
I have the credit card. They're not on the podcast.
Oh, yeah. No. See, that's sacrifice.
So you should listen to The Simpsons.
Yes. Back to The Simpsons.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good. I just, I in my early 20s, I just, I honestly, I had my best friend's cousin was doing the taglines for Sprint PCS at the time. Like, right now, get Sprint PCS, where, and she was like making all this money. And I was like, well, hot damn. I think I want me some of that. So I was in a place in my life where I was kind of like I didn't know what I wanted to do. I've never been a school-driven person.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't have anything that was driving me. And I realized that it was because I wasn't doing what I wanted to be doing, and that was acting. And this avenue opened up for me, and I've been doing it for 15 years.
Oh, my.
So, yeah. I had a day job for, I think I think it's been about 8 years since I dropped the day job. No, 7. Anyways, it's been a while. But, I'm very grateful because, again, I don't know what I'd be doing otherwise.
Right. Well,
I don't think it would be that bad. I'd be a crack whore. I don't think it would be down that alley.
welcome to McDonald's.
Don't shoot low.
Would you like to supersize that?
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that. That's fine. That's great. But I was in a place where I was very grateful that I kind of manifested it in at the perfect time, because I was definitely in this zone of being young and I need to follow my heart, and fortunately it worked out.
Yeah, I'd say it worked out.
Yeah.
And we'll get to some of the things you've been working on here in a second.
We'll get to the
Let's
crack
talk
whore
about
part
Gavin.
later.
Let's jump over to you. How did you get started, sir?
So I was, I've always liked cartoons and doing voices and talking in accents for no good reason. And I was in a band for a long time. And when that ended in about 2000, I started working in construction because I was mostly unemployable. And really, they'll let anybody, dig ditches. And so I was digging a ditch on a electrical installation. And my dad called me and said there's this woman who's got a voiceover school in Sausalito called Voice Tracks, and she was on a local radio talk show. And I turned it on and listened, and I had no idea that people really did that. I knew people were doing voices in cartoons, but I didn't know how to start doing that or get involved in doing it.
Where do you even begin?
And then I went and took classes and, found I was okay at it, and just sort of kept at it. I started taking classes with agents, and that's how I met our mutual agent, Nate Tico at Stars. And that's just how I started doing it. And then I got, through that same school, I got signed with SBV in Los Angeles, which is a very prestigious and reputable talent agency in Los Angeles, California.
Nice.
And just went from there. And I've been doing it. I've been doing it about 11 years, full time for probably about 6 or 7. And it's great. I wouldn't trade it for anything. So it's a lovely job.
Well, that's good. And you guys are really good at it. I have to say.
Thank you.
And it's not just cushion. I mean, you really do a good job. Obviously,
Thanks.
or you wouldn't keep getting hired over and over, to do the things that you're doing. And you were a musician, so you said you were a drummer. Is that right? That's awesome.
Drummer, and I also sang.
Dance Hall Crashers was the name of the band.
That was the name of the band.
Cool.
And I used to, I used to sing as well. So.
All right.
That's awesome.
What?
I do know those guys. Well, that's your band. Or...
Yeah, I was. I joined that band when I was 17.
Nice.
Yeah.
So my brother played guitar and wrote a lot of the songs. And we toured a lot. I don't know that we ever played I know we played in Memphis. I don't know that we ever played in Kentucky. But we played, I think I know I'd seen 47 states, I think, that we played. We went around the world a few times, played in Japan, and we toured with,
Oh, really?
We toured with Third Eye Blind when they were the shit, and toured with NoFX and Bad Religion across the country, which was fun. Not so much Bad Religion, but we did. We did Warped and stuff like that. So we did a lot of touring shows, and it was fun. It was a fun way to spend my 20s. So.
Yep.
But I'm glad I'm
I don't know if I would have survived that.
Glad I'm not touring anymore.
And then you became
That was
a voice
it.
actor.
Sorry?
You were the crack whore first, and then you became the voice
I was sucking dick, and then eventually mostly record label dick, and then.
Well, let's see how good he is now.
All right.
Yes.
If only this had video.
Woo! Oh, it does.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, and then I don't know. There's like just a natural sort of. It's funny. There's maybe one guy that I know that, or most people I know that do this, that are voice actors, are musicians or were musicians in some capacity first. Like Melissa and I actually play in a band together. We have there's a
sing.
cover band, and
That's
I mean I
awesome.
play drums, but we like an '80s cover band that we play in with.
That's cool.
A bunch of our friends.
Like just play for fun, for friends, or do you actually gig out?
No,
We gig out, but it's all just for fun. It's nobody wants to.
We're not trying to
make
like.
any
We're
money
gonna
out of
make it.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
right.
yeah. One of
Be
these
the next
days,
big thing. A
somebody
80s
wants
cover
to hear
band.
Men at Work.
So what's
Finally.
I do.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't mind. So what's some of the songs you guys do in your band?
We Don't You Want Me Baby that she sings, and Tide is High.
Yeah, we do some Blondie. We do.
Dude, this is like my music. I love this.
God,
You're old,
why am
too.
I spacing? I
am
can't
old.
answer one question today.
Yeah, we do all kinds of stuff. We play Duran
Duran
Duran. We
Duran,
play Tears for Fears. Just 80s. It's all just 80s pop.
Yeah.
It
That's
used to be
awesome,
that we
though.
would do whatever pop. So we would do like we played like Party in the USA,
That was
and we'd play.
before I was.
But
in the
this was
band.
pre Melissa, and
Yeah.
then she came in with her contract. And we had to
Yes.
change
Yeah.
the format of the band.
That's
We
right.
all bought white jumpsuits.
Okay, I got to
true
see
story.
pictures of that.
There actually is
There
a
are,
video.
yeah.
Really? That's
Yeah.
No, we don't have Devo hats, but we all wear white jumpsuits with like
Well,
a
I
black
don't.
skinny tie and glasses, and she wears whatever the fuck she wants.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure it's some hot little outfit, right?
Well, it can be.
it's
Go,
skimpy.
girl.
It's
Yeah.
low and short.
Hello. Daddy's home.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
That's
fun.
Awesome.
We have a good time.
Well, it sounds like it. And you guys were scheduled to do one of the afternoon, I guess, panels, but it was you were first, and then you guys came in together, and I thought that was
Yeah.
really cool because
I don't want to be alone.
well,
Yeah.
and
I didn't want to be alone either because I knew that once she was done, it was like everybody just get up
No,
and be the man.
no.
Like I need to really ride her coattails as much as possible at this panel.
You're funny.
Well, you can tell you guys are friends, and you definitely
Yeah.
have good chemistry together. And
Yeah, we've
and
known
it's
each other
and
forever.
exactly, you can tell that, and it's great. And like I said, I was captivated the whole time you
Oh,
guys
cool.
were talking. I thought it
Good.
was great,
It's because
Good.
you're captivating.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
riveting.
Yes. Quite.
She's
I'm
"Can
not
we go
buying
now?"
it.
No, it
No.
was
Whatever.
definitely, you guys held my attention, which.
And
was
you don't even
awesome
know,
because,
like, what the hell was
I
going
And you don't even know where you are right now.
I didn't know what you
I don't know
guys
who
were
you
talking
are,
about, but,
why you
know,
matter.
It kept me interested.
Well, thank
in it,
you.
so,
Thanks.
'cause
Yeah,
at first I was like, this is gonna be 2 hours of shit I know nothing about.
Yeah,
So,
no,
but,
I feel the same way sometimes going on to panels. If there's no moderator, especially, because
Yeah.
my brain fails me quite often. Like, it just fails me. I think in this last panel, someone asked me something, and I was like, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that question?
Well, sometimes you get those like, in the glass castle, how do you get the
And
red
I'm like,
key?
I don't know. I just don't know. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
No, I try to keep it light. It's really cool in general to be here and have people interested in what you are saying in general.
Yeah.
So I just have fun with it.
That's for sure. I mean, like that one
We
guy was asking a
do.
lot of questions. And
Oh, yeah.
He
only asked one, like in the second panel, he only asked one
He
question.
snuck in late.
But
He
man,
was
he
late.
had a lot of
and
questions.
he was,
And they were good.
yeah, but they were all. I guess a lot of people were asking different games that you played on, but his was
Right.
The Walking Dead.
He wanted to know
He
everything
was-
about The Walking Dead.
Very
Yeah, he was.
specific.
He was.
Well, and people don't get a lot of opportunities, and as much as we would love to sit there and respond to every single question on Facebook and all these things, it's really difficult. So it is a good, a lot of people really take advantage of.
Oh, yeah.
Right, I have them.
Yeah,
I need to have these answers.
And I know, Sidetrack. I'm wondering, hey, what about this other game that?
Yeah, no, it's good. I like variety. I definitely understand and accept the fact that the reason why we are at conventions in general at this point is because of The Walking Dead.
Totally.
So
Well, it's like I
to
come
me, it's-
from what I did previously is like I've worked in every aspect of the video game industry. So I know some of the stuff that goes into it, and like when they were asking questions of what about season 3, it's like they don't know anything.
yeah, we
yet.
don't.
And when they do know, they can't talk about it.
squat.
And if we
I
did,
know.
yeah, we couldn't say
Only
anything.
you guys don't say anything. People are like tweeting.
right? Nobody has a phone on, right?
No,
Yeah,
not at all.
There's like an
Okay.
attorney with like a
with the
dart,
dart.
Yeah.
blow dart.
Joe
As soon
pops
as you
out.
start to say something.
What was the
But no, I've had the pleasure of
Yes.
working with Telltale Games in the past.
Yeah,
I
that's what
really
you're
enjoyed
saying.
working with them, and I started back in the Sam and Max days.
Nice.
So it was like I got to review several of their games.
Nice.
And, I know more recently, my son, now that he's a teenager, started playing The Wolf Among Us,
Yeah.
and he's getting into the Walking Dead series.
See, now, I
Nice.
like that you say that you preface it now that he's a teenager, because people ask me. I've got like a almost 7 and almost an 11-year-old. People are like, "Do your kids play the Walking Dead game?" I'm like, "Fuck no, they don't play the Walking Dead game."
Like I come from one of the things I did for a while, which is what led me to work with Telltale Games, was I had a website that I did reviews for quote unquote family friendly games,
Like Common Sense Media or something like that.
Anything that we called ourselves Family Gamer Online. So anything that was like rated T or below, we would review.
Yeah,
and
cool.
We would say, well, this is what you should look out for if you have a younger child.
Right.
Yeah.
Because at the time,
Which I appreciate because
at the time my son was quite young, and I didn't want him rated games around him. But
Yeah.
then as he grew older and got more mature, like I told you earlier, I think when we were talking about that one
The
scene
Wolf
in The
Among
Wolf
Us.
Among Us,
Yeah.
where they
He's like,
get
"I'm
to
out."
the strip scene, and he's just like, I'm pausing this. He gave me the controller, and he's like, let me know when it's over, and he left the room.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So I got to
Right.
the scene. It's like,
Give me
I'm done now.
Give me 45 minutes, boy.
Yeah. Starts playing it again. That was the only part of the game I played. The rest of it I just watched him play.
But for some reason, Troy keeps going back to his last save.
No, I
I'm
mean,
gonna go back to
I've-
that again.
I've been at cons where, like,
Itty bitty
kids
children,
that are younger than my
itty-bitties.
kids are coming up to have me sign like jewel boxes, and I'm just signing it and looking at the parents like, what the hell is wrong with you?
I
I don't
mean,
know.
it's
It's very mature. I mean, it's
It
every
is a
parent's
very mature-
choice.
it's
That's
a-
totally fine. Families that
It's
play it
pretty
together,
gory.
that's fine. I know that it would upset my kids.
Yeah, it's not even like it's not the profanity. I mean, whatever. Kids are gonna hear that. I mean, you
so
cannot shelter.
brutal.
It's just so. It's pretty. I mean, chopping.
The first time I played
Off
it was
legs.
yeah, it was at Dennis's
And it's
when
like-
episode 2, and it's the guy stuck in the bear trap, and it's like all of a sudden you've got to either pop the bear
Yeah,
trap
or
open
cut
or
his
chop
leg
his
off.
leg off. And like I was the
And you're
first
sitting there
guy to
pushing a
sit there
button.
with the controller, and I was like, oh god, this is
It's
horrible. And
disgusting.
it's like, you
The
don't hit it
sounds.
quite right, and screaming gets louder, and I'm
Julian.
like, this is brutal. I can't
Yeah.
sit here. This is uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's a very effective game on so many levels.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, and the first one won a lot of awards.
The million. Well, okay, not a
we-
million, but it was like 97 or
Yeah,
something.
Game of the Year
It
awards or
literally
something. A
bid
lot of those,
just
yeah.
like kind of broke records on many levels.
And I think Telltale Games themselves they kind of pioneered the episodic games.
They did.
Because they were the ones that were like, well, instead of releasing one big game, we're going to break it down into 4 or 5 parts.
Yeah.
And they charge X number of dollars per part, which it's like, I'm not having to shell out $60 right off the bat. I can pay.
It's a smart model.
So they were very intelligent with the way they went about it. And there were people at first that were like, why are they doing that? But I mean, it makes sense, like especially with The Walking Dead, with the choices you can make. They wait until after so long, and they pay attention to the choices that the gamers make, and they base the next storyline off of the choices that the gamers have made.
Absolutely. And I mean, how long are you going to sit down and play a game for? You know, it's like, I mean, I might sit down for a couple hours, but you're not going to sit down and play through something that's 10 or 12 hours straight. I mean, maybe.
And there are some people that
20s, but not so much anymore.
Most of us have jobs and don't have time.
That's right.
Jobs there's only one thing stopping me.
Jobs or kids.
Money.
Or,
pesky money.
Food. Oh, that pesky food.
Must fill stomach. Sustain. Yeah.
Oh goodness. Well, let's delve into some of the work that you've done. I guess prior to that, both of you, some of the things that you guys have worked on. Doug, you said you got started. So I mean, and I've heard you were talking about doing everything from commercials to other video games.
Yeah, that was pre voiceover. No, that was if I didn't do voiceover. That was my lost path. Yeah, gosh, I mean, so many games. It's kind of hard. Let me IMDb myself. I mean, it's such a range. Like right now, there's a Snyder's pretzel commercial that's on TV. That's my voice.
I was Thug 56B.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the little parts. There's, we do a lot of work on, interactive children's toys. I animated series, Space Racers, Yokai Watch, which is coming out next year-ish. There's just so much. I literally am going to IMDb myself right now. Like that's how we
I don't even know.
Work a lot and very grateful for that. But sometimes I'm like, I don't know what I've done.
Okay, Tori's got
it. Yeah, look me up, would you?
Do you have
any
interest in reading audiobooks at all?
I've done 4 audiobooks. I did like a sci-fi series.
I'm way too lazy for that.
And
way too lazy for that.
Somebody's autobiography or biography or something like that.
I don't like editing. If I could go into a studio and have someone do all the work, you actually record it at home and
these days generally you have to, they want you to be a home reader and you just deliver finished hours, which is it's a lot of work.
It's such a cool craft, though. People who do the audiobooks really well, I admire, and they love it.
In with a producer or director or something where you're not having to be responsible for that. Because, I mean, you're getting there and you're reading it and you, start with, one voice and you're like, what the hell did that guy sound like? And then you have to go back and find that take and be all, he sounded like this. Shit.
Again, I'm too lazy.
40 minutes. Yeah, they're fun. I've done a few, and I listen to tons of them, but it's not something that I regularly want to pursue because it takes so long.
It's still loading, but...
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean
list.
to,
No, it's no big deal.
I didn't push the button.
Confuse you.
Oh,
See,
you're listed on Portlandia. I can't imagine what you
know.
did on it.
One episode.
Who knows?
Space Racers, The Walking Dead, The Wolf Among Us, Back to the Future. We talked about that earlier. And then,
and this isn't even this is just the stuff that ends up on IMDb.
It's only an IMDb's only
quite extensive.
What's reported or
it's
what
probably like 10%
report.
of my work, right?
Test Tactics 2, Dungeons and Donuts.
Yeah, there was that.
Okay.
Sure, right.
We get the idea. We get the idea.
We'll edit that one out.
I've been on
whoever wrote that game is going to be
Here's one I
bummed.
recently played, Deadly Premonition.
Yes, that's a cult. That game has a crazy cult following to it. It's a
What was that?
weird game. That was Webtoon. It was many years ago. It's very I think it's almost wanting to be kind of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, it's very different kind of horror
Twin
game.
Peaks.
And
it was very brutal. Like my character, I was like, I don't know,
caught it while I was on
brutally
sale, so I was
murdered.
like,
And
I'm going to play this now.
it's very weird.
Sonic and the Black Knight, my son
Yes.
would love you for that.
Yes, I was Malina, right.
I'm also in that. I'm the Black Knight.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Get out.
I
See?
will.
We don't know.
No, not yet.
No, come back.
It's so funny you guys work on...
And we have no
We had no idea.
idea.
Were you in that? I had no
Kane
idea.
and Lynch Dead Man, you were our voice.
I remember,
That's
yes, voice one.
I was a voice in that too. I believe.
Yeah.
That's
Fantasy Star Universe.
Yeah.
That was at EA,
Fantasy
right?
Star.
Kane and Lynch. Was that an EA?
I don't know.
Might have been.
Time Crisis 3, I remember.
Yeah.
I recently played that with my son at an arcade, so.
So a lot
Yeah,
of games like that,
it's-
they just give you the lines, and you have to do different inflections, different readings on them for different
We'll
situations.
Generally, do start with 3 takes of a line, and if they want more, then they'll make us do more, and if not, they'll choose one of those and move on. So it's pretty, it's kind of tricky, as you were saying earlier. Sometimes we have no idea what the context is.
Right.
We don't get to like read the full script before going in and like, oh, this is what's happening in the story. Like, we don't know. We'll say a line like, oh, I really like dirt. And they'll be like, oh, actually, you're being murdered. I'm like, well, fucking thanks for telling me. I really like dirt. You know what I mean? Like, I would have done it differently if you would have just told me. We don't know.
Well, they don't.
So it's kind of.
Sometimes they don't know.
Yeah, sometimes
Producer
they don't
doesn't
know.
understand.
So
They get it in a text message during the recording session.
Yeah.
Oh, you're supposed to be dying now.
yeah,
Okay.
well, okay, thanks. So I mean, they just don't have. There's not enough time and money involved to like sit down and like, okay, here's the synopsis. This is what's going to happen. So
No,
it's,
they want to get you in and out because the next guy's
because the next one's coming in 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, it's so it's interesting because these games have a lot of fans. League of Legends was one of those where I was just like, I don't even remember the recording session, honestly.
And we
it
told
just
that-
didn't. I mean, I kind of do.
We talked about how Adam Harrington, who is a bunch of League of Legends champions, he's also Big B in The Wolf Among Us.
Yeah.
But he was the one that kind of brought it to our attention that League of Legends was this huge thing. I mean, I sort of knew that because I knew people that played it, and but I didn't realize that I was in it. And so it was he was like went through and found all these clips and was like sending them to us. Like, is that you? Is that you? He's like, pretty sure that's you. And
I'm like, oh yeah, that's me.
I guess that is me. And like, when
Yeah.
was that?
Right.
No idea.
Yeah, it's interesting, and then there are very memorable roles as well. I mean, it's not all like unmemorable. I don't mean to make it sound that way, but
Some are quick. You're there for an hour and then it's done.
right.
And at the time when you're doing the recording, there's no press on the game. There's no info about the game. Nothing's
Right.
out.
Sometimes
Nobody,
they don't even tell you what it is.
Right.
Yeah,
Like, you
I
show
did
up
work
and you-
on Diablo,
you
and I had
basically have
no
to
idea what it
ask
was.
them
They
what
wouldn't
it's
tell
for.
us.
Yeah, they wouldn't tell
They
you.
were like, we will not tell you.
Yeah, because
And
they
that
don't want
didn't
to
come
get
out
it
for
out.
like
You
years.
cannot have that information.
Yeah.
So are you saying you worked on Diablo?
I
and he was the
did.
one that was working on Diablo and wanted to work on Diablo?
Yeah, no. I went
was
and
like
auditioned
random
for
like
it.
monster voices.
Yeah,
It
they were
wasn't like a lot of
looking-
talking. It was just like literally like those kinds of things.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they were looking
It
for monster
destroyed
voices.
my voice. That's what
Aw.
I remember.
I
mean,
knew that it
fine.
was for
That was
Blizzard,
fine.
and so it was kind of like,
Years
I could
ago.
figure out what it probably was. Yeah, that was
That was
like
a long
2005,
time ago.
2007,
Yeah.
something like
Yeah.
that. And I would have loved to have worked on it, but here I am. I don't do good monster voices, I suppose.
Well, there's not a lot of maybe they didn't have a lot of female options. They had female monsters.
Yeah.
We're pretty good at
Well,
the creature voices.
Brian Summer, who's also
Yeah, he
one of our
worked on
pals,
it.
he worked on it as
Yep.
well.
Yeah.
Now you guys had the I get with The Walking Dead. I'm trying to just get to that, but obviously that's a big game that's real big here at the
Yeah.
con, and hopefully there's going to be more episodes. We'll just leave it at that. But how do you find your character for that when you first go in? And I mean, you've done 2, like 1 and 2. So when you went to 2, did you have to go back and listen and kind of get the feel for her again? Or do
I
you just have
did. Well, because I'm just going to do the voice because why not? It's a podcast. In season 1, she was only like 8 years old. So she was a lot littler and she sounded littler and, just had that kind of tone. But in season 2, she was a bit older and things had happened and a little bit darker, a little bit more badass. So it was just really a matter of just, but you'd be weird. That was my voice. It was.
It's a technical term.
It is in voice, so you knew exactly what I was talking about.
Skosh?
Yes. So I mean, it was just a matter of it was kind of a little stressful getting to, even though it's such an easy and obvious transition for her voice, there was a little stress behind it, just because they were. I'm not going to say they were nervous making her the playable character, but that was. There's so much. Clementine has a huge fan base, and
Oh, yes.
people take her very seriously. So if they fucked it up, there would be
Oh, yeah.
riots in the streets, like literally
Dogs and
pitchforks
cats
at
living
the
together
gates
in
of
mass
Telltale. Like, what did you do?
So did they give you a hat for you personally? Do you have a hat?
I have lots of hats. I didn't bring a hat.
That's okay.
But I do. I have like 3 in my personal stash.
What's cool about hers
cool.
too is she's got one that's actually all dirty. I've got a couple clean ones, but you've got one
they made one that was
you.
all dirty. And Skybound is making hats now as well, but they got white stitching on them, and the hat doesn't have white. Anyways, but yeah, no, you can actually get the hat.
That's
She has
cool.
her own action figure. I have an action figure.
That is awesome.
That was like a moment in my life where I was just like, okay, the Lord of the Rings movies were made. I have my own action figure. I can now die.
We should have
I'm
got
not
one
simple.
of those and brought it in and had her sign it.
There wasn't a Star Wars one in there?
Oh well, I mean
That was
Star
another
Wars-
one, too.
Yeah, but Star Wars was. Anyways,
Forgettable, but
no, the originals were so long ago that if I would have died then, I wouldn't have had much of a life.
you would have
So I'm just
missed
saying.
the prequels too.
But yeah, no, it's amazing.
That is cool. That is
Yeah.
very cool.
You were back at Telltale Games at the start when they did Bone.
Oh yeah, I was.
Because that you were Cecil. I just now saw that. I should have done my research first.
Right.
Yes,
I was.
Yes, I was.
Then I was
Point
a big Jeff Smith fan because I worked at a comic shop called Flying Colors in Concord, California, Joe Field's place, and he was one of the first retailers that was really pushing Bone. Wow, it's getting weird. But he was a very big supporter of Jeff Smith, and it was definitely something that I was excited to be in it. And yeah, I played some dude.
Some
guy.
dude.
Some guy.
I'm
Some
just
boning
punchy.
guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Pushing Bone.
He was pushing Bone.
Oy
It's
vey.
funny. It's funny. And your character in The Walking Dead. I mean, people really seem to. I mean, that panel they were pretty passionate about.
it's a love
Yeah,
hate
they either
thing.
love or hate.
Yeah. And he went through a lot as well. So, originally he was just sort of like a happy-go-lucky sort of Southern guy. Oh, you got spiders in your hair. And then by like the end of season 2, it's just Clementine is gravel
he's
and
like
all
kinda
mean and evil.
eye
'cause
patch.
He had gone through a lot. Been shot and stabbed and
It's not a very
lost
nice.
an eye and his head beat in. And
Yeah, lost
kinds of
everybody he
stuff.
loved. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Anybody
tends to
close
make
to
you a little.
No, I know.
Yes.
If you're
It makes
still,
your
if
voice-
you're still like happy and
it makes your
sunshiny,
voice
then you're
gravelier
crazy in a
for
different
sure.
way.
Sure, certainly like lowers the register,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Well, I know on the panel you were kind of fighting back some of the lines that you couldn't say.
Oh, yeah.
You can say line here if you want to.
So there was a story I was telling in there that I couldn't properly tell. That for whatever reason, like after almost every take in the latter half of season 2, I would say a line and be like, "Fuck you," after every single line, and it'd be like saying something to Bonnie, responding by like, "Oh, fuck you, Bonnie." Same
Right.
thing with like, "Fuck you, Luke." They just thought it was hilarious. It'd be like after every line, to be like,
Right.
"Fuck you."
Well, it's very Kenny.
It is very Kenny. It was
Yeah.
very Kenny in season 2,
Yeah.
especially.
Yeah.
And it's very me. I mean, I say that all the time.
That's very Gavin.
It's like a Tourette's sort of thing, but it's voluntary. So
Can you have,
Go figure.
Can you have voluntary
I,
Tourette's?
I am now choosing that you can. I've made
doctor
the
said I could.
executive decision.
oh yeah, look at all that weird shit I'm in.
Like I was
I was
looking
in
back-
I was in
looking back through here,
Skylanders. I was in
it's like
Skylanders Trap Team. I was pretty excited about
you
that.
were what night?
I was one of the villains, Nightshade.
Yep.
And I really wanted to be a Skylander, but I was just a villain. So you can't actually buy me.
So you don't have your own action figure, but she does.
I have, better than my own action figure, I have my own talking fuzzy toy that's me. I have lots of toys
that's
that
kinda what I was leading
that
to with
make
that.
my voice, yeah.
The look on
Yeah.
her face. It's like, what?
Come here, Hannah, let me tell you a story. No, I'm the voice of, and I'm probably not supposed to say this, but
It's in
don't
the
see
brochure.
Why not.
I am the voice
Wait,
of
it's in the brochure.
the Furby toy. So
That's awesome.
Furby that came out in 2010 and then
You
2012
have a
or
Furby?
something like that.
You hate
So.
the Furby.
It's a horror. I mean,
You
it's an
hate
evil
the
toy.
Furby.
It is an evil toy.
Furby's freaking
But no, I've done like something like 20 different characters in Furbies because it's like it changes personality. The more
Right.
you fuck with it, it changes personality.
So have you ever had somebody bring a Furby for you to sign?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I'm gonna have
Yeah.
nightmares about Furbies, and they're gonna look like Gavin.
You've punted Gavin. You've punted Gavin clear across the room.
Yeah.
Aw, he's such a nice guy.
No, I was not. I was not that Furby.
Yeah, that Furby was like, that was
I was in
old
high
Furby.
school. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was not, but.
The evil Furby now is just.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're supposed to be.
That's me.
This is that guy right there.
That guy. But it's fun. There's some fun characters in that one, too. So.
Well, that's cool.
And then baby versions of all those characters I got to do as well, which is just silly. But it's like that particular gig is fun because it's like it is pretty much the script will be like uncomfortable noises, and I'll be like, all right, what does that sound like? And they're all,
You're the actor.
you're in front of the microphone. So it's fun. It's one of those things that it's almost complete freedom to just do whatever you want, and it's like singing and whatever, all kinds of stuff, burping,
Right.
vomiting, farting. It does all of the awful things that a toy should never do.
So,
Right.
so
Things you
you,
want
It's hilariously awesome to do.
so you've done a few toys then, and
Yeah.
have you done any toys?
I have.
She's also done
Okay,
a lot
that's
of toys.
cool. And then have you
Sorry,
done?
parents.
No, what are you talking
No,
about?
well, I mean, it's kind of true because a lot of the toys are like, you're like, you know.
It's funny.
The
'cause
the batteries died.
if
Sorry,
the kids
Billy.
love it, it's guaranteed that if someone in the house loves it, someone else in the house hates it.
Yeah.
You're just irritating.
Well, and I have
parents.
nieces, and
Yeah.
you know, of course, I give them any of the toys that I've worked on. So
That's cool.
you know, but yeah, it's yet another avenue of voiceover.
Well, and then I guess have you ever done like I don't know, say like, but for corporations like their on hold stuff or any of that kind of stuff. I mean,
If you call
Done a lot
StubHub
of
right
fun
now,
shows.
I am the current person that annoys you.
that's
Press
cool.
0 to yes, that is
Oh,
me.
when you wrap it up. Okay, cool. Well, any other questions that you have for him?
No, I think I've got all the answers I needed. I enjoyed.
And then some.
You guys were the ones I was looking forward to talking to.
Oh, thank
thank
you. Thank you so much. Yeah,
And we
it's
really,
cool to be
we
here.
really appreciate you guys taking the
Yeah,
time.
this
to
is
listen. I know
great.
you've
It's
been
fun.
busy and it's been a crazy day. It's been a great con so far.
It hasn't been that crazy.
No, it
It
really
hasn't been crazy for you guys. It's been crazy
No.
for us.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
well, that
We're
means
fine.
that means they're running the con right. If you guys are
Oh, no.
all relaxed and
It's
everything's
easy.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
feel pretty good.
Yeah, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Can you guys do any voices before we let you go? Did you just want to just to have fun or any? As I know you said your favorite voice to do. You used to do stuff around the house was some I don't know what was it?
The Scotsman.
Scottish?
A Scottish accent. I'm not going to be able to do it very well.
No,
but I
not
can.
doing it
I
very
suppose.
well.
What do you want me to say? That's the thing. I don't know what to say.
I don't.
Hello,
I don't
Melissa.
know.
I love you. I love you.
I do Scottish accent. Not very well. Not very well. I can't.
We'll work on
They'll
it.
have to
Me and
work on
you.
it.
We'll work on it.
What kind of accents do you like to do? You said English.
I do
believe.
a pretty good Russian accent.
Oh, it's not
actually.
bad. Your Russian is good.
Yes, that.
good.
Keep saying more things to say.
I will say in
What
the
else?
Russian. I have a personal favorite, I think, brought up in panel today, of Trixie Trotter. She was fun.
Oh yeah.
So-
yeah.
But she was, more like a kind of, a little bit of an airhead. But I'm not going to really call her that. Well, I just did. Whoops.
So she's fun. There's so many voices. We could
Yes.
probably sit here for the next 3 hours to the point where you guys would be like running out of the room. You're like, they're
Please let them
Fucking
go.
crazy.
Actually,
I just.
actually we would love it,
out the window.
but we would get in trouble if we kept here that long.
You want to hear another one? Bring the beer. They'll really come out then. No, yeah.
Thank you
So,
all
of
very
course.
much.
Thanks for having us.
It was
Yeah.
great, and we've got our card and it's got our podcast
Yes.
on it.
Yep.
It'll go up on
Yes.
Thursday night. So if you guys if you wanted
Sweet.
to listen to it, you guys will be on there. I
Cool.
don't have any way of emailing you, so I'll just have to leave it up to you guys to.
You can
to
email
get
us.
this. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We'll get that from you then.
Yeah.
I'll email you my address so you can ship me some plans.
I know.
Yeah, we'll do.
More importantly,
More importantly, we need beer.
We may find some unique beers he can send you too. You know?
yeah, that's
You're
true.
close to Indiana, so 3 Floyds.
We can
I'm
do some
in.
trading.
That's right.
Awesome. Well, thank you all very much
I
for
got
being on
bubble
Escape Pod.
Yeah,
Thanks, guys.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yay.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Wonderful.
Yeah, it was great meeting all of you.